This video did not exist in your reality until your consciousness collapsed the wave of probability to find it. You clicked on this title because a very specific, undeniable part of your soul recognized the truth before your logical mind could even process it. Have you ever felt an overwhelming, sudden urge to completely avoid a certain place, cancel your plans, or suddenly walk away from a situation for absolutely no logical reason? Today, we are going to expose the profound mechanism behind this phenomenon. We are diving deep into the observer effect and the invisible architecture of the quantum field. I promise you that by the end of this transmission, you will never view your gut feelings as mere anxiety or coincidence ever again. You will finally understand your absolute power as the sovereign creator of your reality. Tell me, have you ever forced yourself to ignore that heavy feeling in your stomach only to deeply regret it moments later? Your higher self has been trying to get your attention. To truly grasp the magnitude of what a gut feeling actually is, we must step completely outside the boundaries of standard physical reality. We must enter the esoteric realm of the quantum field. In this mystical space, reality is not a solid, fixed construct. It is an infinite ocean of probability waves. Every single possible outcome of your life already exists in this field as a suspended frequency. But here is the ultimate secret. These waves of potential do not solidify into the physical world on their own. They require an active observer. Observation is not a passive act of simply looking at things with your physical eyes. Observation is the profound, energetic command of your consciousness that forces the universe to choose a shape. You are constantly collapsing waves of probability into tangible events simply by placing your attention upon them. Your body is the highly advanced instrument through which this quantum data is translated and experienced. Let us start by examining that highly specific, undeniable sensation that suddenly washes over you. You have been planning to go somewhere, perhaps to a social gathering, a meeting, or even just taking a specific route home. Everything makes logical sense and there is no rational reason to cancel. But then out of nowhere, a heavy, sinking feeling drops into your stomach. It is not anxiety, it is not fear. It is a profound, almost silent, absolute knowing that you simply should not go. Most people brush this off as nerves or laziness, forcing themselves to push through the discomfort to appease others or fulfill a social obligation. But what if I told you that this physical sensation is not a psychological glitch, but a high-tech survival mechanism built into your spiritual anatomy? You see, your mind operates in a linear fashion, processing past and present data. However, your deeper consciousness operates outside of time and space. When you get that sudden gut feeling, you are actually receiving an immediate data download from your highest quantum self. It is a massive red flag being waved from a parallel timeline, screaming at you to stop. To truly understand what is happening in these moments, we must zoom out and look at the invisible architecture of our universe. Imagine reality not as a solid, unchangeable road, but as an infinite ocean of probability waves. In the realm of quantum mechanics, before a particle is observed, it exists in a state of superposition, meaning it is everywhere and nowhere all at once. It only becomes a solid, physical reality when a conscious observer looks at it. This is not just a microscopic theory. It applies to your entire life. Right now, stretching out before you, are millions of potential timelines. There is a timeline where you go to that party and meet your soulmate. There is a timeline where you stay home and read a book. And there is a timeline where you take a specific road and encounter a catastrophic delay or danger. All of these versions of the future currently exist as invisible waves of potential in the quantum field. They are waiting for your consciousness to collapse them into physical reality. Your gut feeling is your internal guidance system actively sensing the vibration of these approaching waves before they even materialize. Think of your extended consciousness as an incredibly advanced radar system that constantly scans the horizon of the quantum field. While your physical brain is busy with the mundane tasks of daily life, Your higher self is sending out energetic pulses into the future, testing the waters of various timelines. It explores the energetic consequences of the choices you are about to make. When your radar detects a timeline that contains a severe drop in frequency, an unnecessary struggle, or an event that does not serve your highest evolution, it immediately sends a distress signal back to your physical body. Because your conscious mind would argue with the logic, your higher self bypasses the brain entirely. It sends the message straight to your enteric nervous system, the complex network of neurons in your stomach. That is why we call it a gut feeling. It is a biological translation of quantum data. Your body is physically reacting to an event that has not even happened yet, because on a quantum level, your higher self has already lived it, evaluated it, and rejected it. When you feel that sudden urge to stay home, you are actually experiencing the energetic friction of two timelines colliding. There is the timeline of your original plan and the new corrective timeline your higher self is desperately trying to push you onto. This friction creates a temporary distortion in your personal energy field. You might feel a sudden wave of exhaustion, a subtle pressure in your chest, or a complete lack of motivation to get dressed and walk out the door. This is your quantum self literally pulling the plug on the energetic momentum of that specific future. It is actively withdrawing your life force from the probability wave of that event, causing it to wither and die before you can step into it. The discomfort you feel is the tearing away of a future reality that you were about to manifest. It is a profound act of self-preservation orchestrated by the universe. By removing your energy, you ensure that the dangerous or stagnant timeline never gets the chance to collapse into a physical, lived experience. You become the active curator of your own destiny. This brings us directly to the concept of the observer effect, but practically applied to your everyday existence. You must remember that reality is not something that happens to you. It is something that responds to you. By simply existing and focusing your attention, you are the conscious observer commanding the universe to take a solid shape. When you experience that strong intuition to cancel your plans, you are being invited to change your point of observation. If you ignore the feeling and go anyway, you are forcing your consciousness to observe and therefore create a reality that your soul has already determined is misaligned. You are choosing to collapse a wave of probability that carries a lower frequency. But when you honor the gut feeling, when you stop, pause, and choose to stay back, you completely remove your observational power from that negative timeline. Without your active observation, that specific version of reality ceases to exist for you. It dissolves back into the infinite quantum soup. You have quite literally erased a timeline simply by choosing where to place your presence. It is fascinating to realize how perfectly our physical vessels are designed to interpret the invisible world. The human gut contains over 100 million neurons, more than either the spinal cord or the peripheral nervous system. Science often refers to it as the second brain, but in the realm of metaphysics it is your primary quantum receptor. While the brain in your head is designed to analyze the past, the brain in your gut is designed to sense the future. When a timeline of danger, deception, or simply wasted time approaches your energy field, it carries a specific, dense, vibrational frequency. Your gut instantly recognizes this discordant frequency because it disrupts your natural state of harmony. The sudden nausea, the tightness, or the heavy dread is not a sign of physical illness. It is your biological hardware translating an incompatible quantum code. Your body is screaming at you that the energy of the space you are about to enter is toxic to your current vibration. Trusting this biological translation is the first step toward mastering the art of conscious reality creation. One of the greatest battles we face as awakening beings is the war between logical reasoning and quantum knowing. Your logical mind has been heavily programmed by society to require tangible proof before making a decision. It demands spreadsheets, pros and cons lists, and solid facts. So when your quantum self sends a loud and clear message to avoid a certain place or person, your mind instantly rebels. It starts whispering things like, "You are just being paranoid," or "You will disappoint them if you do not show up." The mind tries to invalidate the intuition because intuition operates without physical evidence. But you must understand that logic is severely limited. Logic can only calculate based on things that have already happened. Quantum knowing, however, calculates based on all things that could possibly happen. When you choose to listen to your gut over your logical mind, you are making a profound evolutionary leap. You are declaring to the universe that you trust the invisible field of infinite possibilities more than the limited illusions of the three-dimensional matrix. Have you ever forced yourself to ignore that inner voice and gone to the event anyway? Think back to how those experiences usually unfold. You arrive and almost immediately everything feels slightly off. Perhaps the conversations are draining, you get caught in terrible traffic, you lose something valuable, or you end up in a situation that brings you deep emotional distress. This is what happens when you bulldoze your way onto a timeline you were never meant to occupy. By ignoring the quantum signal, you drag your energy into a frequency that fundamentally clashes with your soul's blueprint. You experience the phenomenon of reality resisting your presence. The environment feels heavy, the synchronicities disappear, and everything feels like an uphill battle. This is the universe giving you immediate, undeniable feedback that you have strayed from your highest path. It is a harsh lesson, but a necessary one. It teaches you that your intuition is not a suggestion. It is an absolute directive from the highest version of yourself, designed to keep you safely aligned with your true destiny. We often think of timeline shifting as some grand, cinematic event filled with flashing lights and sudden transformations. But the truth is much more subtle. Timeline jumping happens through micro-shifts, tiny, seemingly insignificant choices made in the present moment. Choosing not to go to that coffee shop, deciding to leave a party 5 minutes early, or suddenly taking a different street home. These micro-decisions are the steering wheel of your reality. When you honor a sudden gut feeling to alter your routine, you are turning the wheel sharply, avoiding unseen collisions in the quantum field. You will never consciously know what you avoided. You will never see the car accident that did not happen, the toxic conversation that never took place, or the drained energy you did not have to recover from. And that is the true beauty of it. The proof of a successful timeline shift is often nothing but a peaceful, uneventful day. You have seamlessly glided into a higher probability wave, leaving the chaos behind in a reality that you starved of your observation. By mastering these micro-shifts, you begin to weave a life of grace and ease, recognizing that every single choice is a powerful act of creation. Once you make the conscious choice to step back and honor your intuition, the quantum field immediately responds to your decision. This response often comes in the form of synchronicity. Synchronicity is not a random coincidence. It is the mathematical feedback of a conscious universe confirming that you have successfully locked onto the correct frequency. For example, you decide to stay home instead of going to a gathering. An hour later, you receive an unexpected phone call that brings you amazing news, or you stumble upon a piece of information online that sparks a massive breakthrough in your life. Or perhaps the next day, you find out that the event you skipped was a complete disaster. These are not accidents. These are clear markers placed on your path by the universe, validating your choice. The field is essentially saying, "Well done, you have navigated successfully." When you start noticing these synchronicities, do not just brush them off, acknowledge them, celebrate them. By giving them your focused attention, you amplify their presence, drawing even more magical alignments into your daily experience. As you become more attuned to these quantum shifts, you may begin to experience an increase in the phenomenon known as déjà vu. Science tries to explain déjà vu as a simple misfiring of the brain's memory centers. But from a metaphysical standpoint, it is something much more profound. Déjà vu is the sudden, striking recognition that you have reached a critical checkpoint on your timeline. It is the momentary overlapping of your current physical reality with the quantum memory of your higher self. When you experience that strange sensation of having lived a moment before, it is your soul confirming that you are exactly where you are supposed to be. You have successfully navigated the infinite sea of probabilities and landed on the exact coordinate that was pre-planned for your awakening. Sometimes déjà vu occurs right after you have listened to a strong gut feeling and avoided a different path. It serves as a gentle nod from the universe, a silent whisper assuring you that your internal compass is perfectly calibrated and functioning at its highest capacity. Embrace these moments not as mere illusions, but as powerful evidence of your multidimensional nature and your ability to steer your destiny. To truly command the observer effect, we must understand the vital role that emotions play in the manifestation process. Your thoughts are the electrical signals sent out into the quantum field, setting the intention. But your emotions are the magnetic force that draws the experience back to you. When you get a bad feeling about going somewhere, pay close attention to the specific emotion attached to it. Is it a feeling of heaviness, constriction, or deep dread? That emotion is the exact frequency of the timeline you are observing. If you force yourself to go, you are choosing to bathe your energy field in that specific emotional state. The universe does not hear what you say, it only hears what you feel. By lingering in that state of constriction, you magnetically attract more events, people, and circumstances that match that heavy vibration. However, when you honor the intuition and step away, you experience an immediate sense of relief. That feeling of relief is the ultimate manifestation magnet. It instantly realigns your frequency to a timeline of peace, ease, and absolute energetic protection. Sometimes your rational mind is too stubborn to listen to the subtle whispers of your intuition. When this happens, your higher self has to take more drastic measures to prevent you from stepping onto the wrong timeline. This is where we encounter the deeply frustrating yet highly protective random occurrences of daily life. Have you ever desperately tried to leave the house, but suddenly you cannot find your car keys, or your alarm mysteriously fails to go off? Or you hit every single red light on the way to an appointment, causing you to miss a flight or a train? In the moment, these events cause intense anger and frustration. You feel as though the universe is actively working against you, but from a higher perspective, the universe is actually working relentlessly to save you. These frustrating delays are forced timeline corrections. Your quantum self is literally bending physical reality, hiding objects, and manipulating electronics just to delay your progress by a few crucial minutes. Those few minutes are often all it takes to completely avoid a disastrous wave of probability that was heading straight for you. There is a very specific and often uncomfortable phase that occurs immediately after you make a major timeline shift. When you say no to an event, a relationship, or a path because your gut told you to, you are momentarily suspended in what we call the quantum void. The old reality has been collapsed, but the new reality has not yet fully materialized. During this time, you might feel a strange sense of emptiness, isolation, or profound quiet. Nothing seems to be happening. Your ego will panic during this phase. It will scream that you have made a terrible mistake, that you will miss out, or that you are entirely alone, but you must hold your ground. The void is not empty. It is pregnant with infinite possibility. It is the blank canvas upon which your new timeline is being drawn. If you rush to fill this silence with frantic action or doubt, you risk recreating the old patterns. You must learn to sit comfortably in the unknown, trusting that the universe is working behind the scenes, reorganizing the very fabric of reality to match the new, higher frequency you have chosen. The journey of spiritual awakening is fundamentally the process of upgrading your status from a passive victim of circumstances to an active observer and creator. For most of human history, people have lived on default settings. They allow their subconscious programming, societal expectations, and the opinions of others to dictate which reality they observe and collapse. They ignore their gut feelings because they have been taught that external authority is smarter than internal wisdom. But you are watching this video because you are ready to break that cycle. You are realizing that your consciousness is the most powerful technology in existence. When you start actively using your gut feeling as a navigational tool, you reclaim your power. You stop reacting to the world and start commanding it. You realize that you are not a physical body walking through a solid universe. You are a localized point of infinite awareness, moving through a holographic field of energy. Every time you honor your intuition, you strengthen your observer muscle, becoming a master architect of your own lived experience. What does it actually feel like when you are locked onto the correct timeline? It is the exact opposite of that heavy, sinking gut feeling. When you are aligned with your highest probability wave, your internal guidance system sends a completely different set of signals. You experience a sense of expansion in your chest. You feel a quiet, unshakable peace, even if the logical circumstances seem challenging. Opportunities flow to you without forced effort. You meet the right people at the exact right time. This state of being is often called the flow state. It is the frequency of your true path. When you are in this state, you are no longer swimming against the current of the quantum river. You are riding the wave of your own highest potential. Your only job is to protect this frequency. When a request, an invitation, or a situation arises that threatens to pull you out of this flow, your gut will instantly warn you. By honoring that warning, you fiercely guard your vibration, ensuring that you remain on the timeline where your deepest desires can effortlessly manifest into reality. To make your intuitive radar even more accurate, you must clear out the static that interferes with the signal. This static is created by the limiting beliefs and unresolved traumas stored within your subconscious mind. If you hold a subconscious belief that you do not deserve happiness, your mind might misinterpret a perfectly good timeline as dangerous, creating a false gut feeling based on fear rather than true quantum insight. This is why shadow work and energetic clearing are absolutely vital for anyone who wishes to master the law of attraction and reality creation. You must bravely face the hidden parts of yourself and release the old emotional baggage. As you peel away these layers of conditioning, your energetic filter becomes crystal clear. You will no longer confuse the voice of your ego's anxiety with the voice of your higher self. Your intuition will transform from a vague whisper into a roaring certainty. You will be able to scan the infinite field of possibilities with absolute precision, confidently selecting only the timelines that align with your ultimate joy and sovereign freedom. It is crucial to understand that your decisions do not only affect you. We are all deeply entangled in the quantum web of collective consciousness. When you honor your gut feeling and refuse to step onto a negative timeline, you are not just saving yourself, you are fundamentally altering the probability waves for everyone else connected to that event. By withdrawing your energy from a toxic situation, you weaken the manifestation of that reality for the collective. Your refusal to participate in lower frequencies starves those frequencies of the vital life force they need to survive. Every single time you choose alignment over obligation, peace over chaos, and intuition over logic, you anchor a pillar of high vibrational light into the Earth's energy grid. You become a living, breathing disruptor of the old matrix. Your personal timeline shift sends a massive ripple of awakening through the entire quantum field, making it just a little bit easier for the next person to hear their own inner voice and make a choice that elevates their soul. As you listen to these words, pay attention to what is happening inside your body right now. There is likely a deep sense of resonance, a feeling of an inner bell being struck. This is not because you are learning something entirely new. It is because you are finally remembering what your soul has always known. Before you incarnated into this physical vessel, you understood the mechanics of the universe perfectly. You knew that you were a divine creator stepping into a dense, holographic playground. The amnesia of birth made you temporarily forget your power, causing you to believe that you were at the mercy of random chance. But the fact that you have found this message is ultimate proof that the amnesia is breaking. Your higher self guided you to this exact moment in time to trigger this specific awakening. You are being called to take back the steering wheel. You are being reminded that that strange feeling in your stomach is the sacred compass of your soul, forever pointing you back toward your highest and most magnificent destiny. The ultimate mastery of quantum navigation is reaching a point where you no longer question the signal. You do not need to explain your choices to anyone. You do not need to justify your sudden change of plans with logical excuses. You simply say, "My energy is no longer aligned with this," and you peacefully walk away. This level of self-trust is the hallmark of a true master of reality. As you move forward from today, make a solemn vow to yourself. Promise that you will never again override the absolute knowing of your physical vessel. Treat your gut feelings as sacred text. When the universe whispers to you to stop, you stop. When it urges you to turn left instead of right, you turn. By living this way, life transforms from an unpredictable struggle into a breathtaking dance with the cosmos. You will watch in awe as the matrix bends to accommodate your choices. You will effortlessly glide from one miraculous timeline to the next, forever guided by the unfailing, infinite wisdom of your own quantum consciousness. The power has always been inside of you. Now, it is time to use it. The greatest truth you will ever realize is this: you are not a person existing within a vast external reality. You are the reality itself, observing itself into physical existence. Every gut feeling, every sudden urge to stop is simply the universe rearranging its own geometry to serve your highest good. By honoring these signals, you actively create the life you were always meant to live. Thank you for tuning in to this transmission. If this message resonated with your soul, please subscribe to the channel and give this video a like. To permanently anchor this realization into your energy field, I want you to go down to the comments right now and write, "I am the observer creating my reality." Let that be your declaration to the quantum field today. And before you go, I have a question for you. What strange synchronicities or sudden intuitive signs have you noticed in your life recently? Share your stories below, because your experiences might just be the exact catalyst someone else needs for their awakening. Until next time, trust the knowing.